and their socks. But if you don't work them through, you're actually in delusion, not planning, because you should know what could happen and then work it through. They said design the absolute worst thing that could happen and then make sure that doesn't happen. Makes sense, okay? The next are fears. Fears are real. Fears keep us safe. And does anyone know our only two inbred fears that are actually wiring? The lovely lady in the purple sweater.
Fear of loud noises and the fear of falling backwards.
Yes, those are the only two things that are innate. Everything else is taught. Falling backward, ironically, not falling. As you've seen toddlers or whatever, they fall, they get up, they're not scared. But falling backward is a natural fear. So that's kind of neat. So Canfield says, and by the way, the guy sold 500 million books and got turned down 140 times, so he knows a little bit about fear, and he says, feel your fear and do it anyway. I just want to say that again because it's important. Feel your fear and do it anyway. Now, what's the last one? Roadblocks. We have someone here from Montreal, which is kind of exciting. And my daughter says the closest we've ever been to a divorce was trying to get home from Maine via Montreal because of roadblocks. It was awful. We were in a detour that actually ended 2 o'clock in the morning and there's no road. So I know something about roadblocks. So these aren't, by the way, stop signs. A lot of people, the first flag that goes up, oh, I'm done. He's going to shoot that picture. That's going to be on my website. Be going, but anyway. So roadblocks are manageable. Sometimes you need more information. Sometimes you need an associate. Sometimes you need more money. But roadblocks are often manageable. So you just work through them. Okay? Now, goal setting overwhelms some people. By the way, if anyone is lost, I'm assuming it's because the slides aren't following me. So, but if they are following me, then you're good. I'll leave that to you, Bethany. You can be you're the sound girl or the page down girl here, so you can keep me honest. So, goal setting overwhelms. The secret is chunk it down. My wife actually mentioned this. I really like that. Is that as soon as you said my goal is to lose 60 pounds, the brain shuts down, okay? Actually, it was so neat. I was watching at 11 o'clock, you know, the TV commercials late at night, and one guy came on and says, ladies, we will show you how to lose 200 ugly pounds. And I thought it was a diet. No, he was a divorce lawyer. We need Dustin to do the rim shots. That's what we need Dustin for. But, so you chunk it down, so instead of 60 pounds, lose 2 pounds a week for 30 weeks. That's manageable. It's not frightening. You can actually put it on trend. You don't wait for 25 weeks and then stop eating. Now, I managed to lose 40 pounds with a very, very effective diet called Lyme disease. Yeah. It was amazing. My wife wanted to send my Lyme disease diet to Women's World with a chocolate cake recipe. There they are. I lost 40 pounds and here's the fudge cake. But it has nothing to do with the book, but I got to tell you this. I have been shopping at the Husky store since I was 10 years old, right? So I go into George Richards to say, I need a pair of pants one size smaller. I've lost some weight. And a kinsman, a friend of mine named Tom McGlade says, Wayne, I got very, very bad news. I can't sell you a pair of pants. You're too thin. I just about had my own standing ovation. The same guy, by the way, I have to tell you, worked at one of the more expensive men's shops in town. I won't mention the name, but he says, Wayne, I will gladly sell you a $1,500 suit if you absolutely promise me to tell no one where you bought it. You put on the most expensive Savile Row suit and you look homeless. So, true story. True story. So anyway, I've actually found a pair of pants that fit, and that's my Christmas goal. But you can hold me accountable to that. So now I will tell you the difference between the real goal and the wish. And to me, that is the power of the action step. If you've got a pen, please write down the word action steps. Okay? How many people here have ever met a person with 5-year goals that seem to magically stay 5 years out? Doesn't that happen? Yes. And then the other thing is there's this amazing financial program. Some people call them RSPs. Ontarians call them 649. Okay? But, well, there you go. So, but the key is the action step. The action step is the glue that gives you the difference between your day, which we all get through eventually, bad or good, and the 5-year goal. So what do you have to do in the next 30 or 60 days to make that 5-year goal more likely? What are the books you have to read? Who are the mentors you have to meet? It's okay to ask for help. Now, you actually might even need more skills. My first dream, I wanted to be a ballerina. And I have to tell you, the hardest part was getting a tutu my size.
I've seen it, it wasn't pretty.
So, how much money do you need? How much time do you need? What do you have to give up to make that happen? Is the action step 1 hour of TV less a day? That could be the action step. Then, work backward. I recommend, if you like, if it's important to you, if it's making sense, buy Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. It's an amazing book, and the whole theory is get rid of the most unpleasant task between 8:30 and 10, and then the rest of your day is a breeze. And most people put off and put off and put off, and they're actually dreading all their day, and then they do this awful thing at 4 o'clock, but they've been living it since 8:30. I am by natural wiring not an organizer. Okay? My daughter just snickered. Okay? And so one of the things that I know, I actually have a blog talking about cleaning a trailer for sale. It took a month to get up the energy to clean the trailer and 4 hours to clean the trailer. Okay? So you see, so sometimes the shoemaker's barefoot. It happens. But get rid of the stuff that you dread, if you can. Okay? Now, once you decide what the most important thing is on your list, do it. Put off all of the administrivia and do it. I am a huge fan. My two heroes, well, my 3 favorite authors are Steve Covey, Jack Canfield, and Wayne Pratt. But Steve Covey talks about being trapped in the urgent but the unimportant. And haven't we all met people that are trapped there? They either, because by the way, most important things aren't urgent until they're a crisis. And the reason they aren't important to you is because they aren't urgent, which means you are always trapped like a hamster on a wheel, so always try to spend some time in the urgent when it's important, or even better, the important when it's not urgent. This will change your life, and I really, really recommend 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Steve Covey. It's just one of the greatest books written. I would say Jack Canfield and 7 Habits and 31 Days. Those are the 3 books. Now, did you ever go down the road in your car and find out your emergency brake's still on. Haven't we all done that? And one thing that I've seen people do is they actually step on the gas because they don't know their emergency brake's on, so they step on the gas until they clue in. And that hurts the car and gets terrible gas mileage and confuses the heck out of the people behind you. So, what you do is you release the brake. I just want to just spend that moment, release the brake. Imagine yourself releasing the brake, because it's not just about a car, it's about our lives. So release the brake. Now, Canfield, who again, this talk is about, by the way, I took a course to give this course of Jack's stuff. So I'm not just plagiarizing, I paid to teach this. He talks about elephants. And why is this 5-ton elephant able to sit in a rail car or a little cage or whatever? And the reason is when they were very, very young, they put a rope on their leg and they put a stake in the ground and they realized they couldn't go anywhere. And then when they were 3 years old, 5 years old, they're weighing 5 tons. Their legs are like tree trunks, but they can't do it because they tried it and it didn't work. And I don't think you have to go too far to imagine some of us are still trapped in those ropes. Isn't that true? So if tonight you can throw off one rope, you've had a great night. And there's cake. Now, again, if you changed your